Young men are being sold the lie that this is what real masculinity looks like.
Bro, we gotta get these ugly faces out of this section. They gotta go.
Let me tell you what a dinner with me and a woman looks like. Woman sits next to me, looks hot, the other man at the table respect that. When we talk about business, I genuinely ignore her the whole time.
Make sure you're cutthroat. You tell her, look, are you trying to smash or not? If not, then don't come here, man.
Welcome back. I know I'm a bit late on this, but I've been busy traveling and working on some projects. But before we get into the video, I've got some exciting personal news. My first ever article just got published over on Crisis Magazine about the failure of the pro-life movement post-Dobbs. I'll link to it below, so definitely check that out. But today, we need to talk about some wild clips that surfaced over the weekend. We had some of the biggest names in the red pill, misogynistic, women are objects crowd, guys like the Tate brothers, going out to the club with others like Myron Gaines, Nick Fuentes, and Clavicular. And it is exactly as chaotic as that sounds. Hit like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's just get into it. So I don't really know how this all came together. From what I can tell, a bunch of just the most controversial guys on the internet just decided to go clubbing together, and they streamed the entire thing. And in doing so, they exposed themselves as one of the most morally corrupt group of people with a platform in this country. Yet somehow, these are the men being held up as role models for millions of young men. The first clip I saw from that night was these guys in a limo, blasting Kanye's Hail Hitler song. In the video, you can see Myron Gaines going crazy with Nazi salutes. Myron is the same guy I talked about in a previous video about Jack Posobiec. Myron's the one that wore a Gas the Jews sweatshirt to America Fest. I'll link to that somewhere up above. Then there's also Tristan Tate, Andrew Tate's brother, Sneeko, who admittedly I know nothing about, and Nick Fuentes, who's the leader of the Groyper movement, who claims to be a Republican, but would rather have seen Kamala win the election so that the nation would fail faster. Then there's Clavicular, a looksmaxxer, whatever that is, who, as near as I can tell, only became famous after making a fool of himself on Michael Knowles' show by saying that he'd vote for Gavin Newsom over J.D. Vance, because Newsom mogs Vance. At first, when I saw the video, I was like, yeah, whatever, and I don't really understand why Fuentes is there, how Clavicular got in with this group, but overall, it's about what I expect from these dudes. Then as I continued scrolling, I realized that there are real people out there, men my age and younger, who actually look up to these guys as role models. The proof is in this tweet, where someone criticizes Clavicular for being, quote-unquote, distracted by a random hoe. The tweet says that he's in a room with the Tate brothers, Fuentes, Gaines, but is distracted. Whoever runs this account seems to think that those men are role models. They have some great knowledge to pass on to young men like Clavicular. To some young men out there, the Tate brothers and their ilk are like near prophets, and women are just distractions. That is a major problem, because as we'll see, the lessons that these so-called prophets are teaching are anything but good. And just from the clips I came across over the weekend, I found 3 clear lessons that young men are learning from these influencers, and all of them are truly wicked. We'll go through these lessons one by one, but first, here's the quick overview. First, they teach that women are objects that you manipulate and discard. Second, a woman has an expiration date. Third, real relationships with women are for beta males. Let's start with the first lesson. Women are objects that you manipulate and discard. Take this clip, for example, of Clavicular talking to a woman on the bus, laying out his plans for the night.
Listen, I'll take you to my house. I'm gonna gamble on my computer and fully ignore you.
She was nice, man. Yeah.
All right.
Those are way more customers.
He's openly telling her that he's going to take her home, ignore her, and then sleep with her when he feels like it. She obviously doesn't seem thrilled by this, but watch Clavicular's body language and tone. Now that little tap on the leg, how does that sound? He's acting like this is how he should behave. Like the woman should just be all over him because he rented a penthouse for a night. And it gets even worse than that. Watch this clip.
Yeah, but like, cause tell her I got 500 girls here. If you're not trying to fuck, you gotta leave right now. You gotta be cutthroat with these bitches.
I got you. Listen.
Don't even bring her up until she says yes.
Hey, listen. I got 5 other bitches here. If you're not trying to smash, you gotta go.
I can get down.
All right, come on.
Fucking lights on, fuck you.
All right, come on up.
You said yes?
Of course you do.
Good. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's a good line, I told her I got 5 other girls here. If you're not trying to smash, you gotta go.
That's insane. And notice what happened there, something we'll talk about a bit later. That's Myron Gaines, the Gas the Jews enthusiast, telling Clavicular what to say and how to treat women. Myron is the teacher, Clavicular is the student. Myron would say, it's all about confidence, but really it's just treating women like objects because you have just a little bit of money. Young men who look up to these guys because they seem cool and post pictures with a million hot girls are being sold just absolute garbage. Sure, having money might get you access to more women. I'm not going to deny that. Is that really how you should live? Is that what life is about? treating women like they owe you something, expecting them to fawn over you while you just ignore them, only letting them hang out with you if they agree to sleep with you afterwards. That's not how real men act. That's just how pathetic, insecure boys act when they're desperately trying to prove that they matter to other men. Second lesson, women have an expiration date.
What, to go to Cape Cod?
Yeah.
Why?
Is it like really fun and pretty there?
Oh, really? It's kind of for fucking old retired people. Well, I guess that's kind of you. You're 26.
Right. I'm old and retired.
Now, look, many people dismiss this as just a joke, and in that specific moment, it probably was. Clavicular is only 20. Calling a 26-year-old old is just dumb humor. I say the same thing to my fiance, who is just 2 weeks older than I am. Now, but look at the bigger picture. In every video I've shown you, that 26-year-old might be the oldest woman visible the entire night. And the men? Andrew Tate's 39, Tristan Tate is 37, Myron Gaines is 35, Justin Waller, another guy there, is 40. This wasn't a group of peers, it was a group of much older men running the show with much younger women. So this crowd, women age out fast. Judging by these videos, after about 26, they're not worth the time, money, or attention. Young men watching this, seeing these influencers propped up as role models, are being sold a fantasy that destroys them. Where are these men at 50, 60? As Jordan Peterson says, you don't want to be the oldest dude at the frat party. The party doesn't last forever. Even with $1 billion, you can't outrun time. Eventually, they'll have to look in the mirror and face what they built. Nothing. No family, no real love, just a string of women who are props in their lifelong performance of masculinity. On their deathbed, when it's all said and done, they'll understand the real cost. Nobody who truly loves them will be there holding their hand, wishing for just 5 more minutes with them. It'll just be an empty room and the knowledge that they chose empty conquests over a life that actually mattered. Moving on to lesson 3, relationships are beta. I mentioned Justin Waller earlier. He's a guy who apparently got rich off of a steel company he founded, and now he's a social media influencer. He sells business advice and apparently also red pill women are trash advice.
I don't take bitches. The only dinner a woman will ever go to with me is when I'm meeting other men, but like a one-on-one dinner with a girl is a mistake and a waste of fucking time and money.
3 hours of fucking garbage.
Let me tell you what a dinner with me and a woman looks like. Woman sits next to me, looks hot, the other men at the table respect that. When we talk about business, I genuinely ignore her the whole time.
What message is he teaching Clavicular? What message do young men learn from this? Never court a woman, never invest, never build a family, only use women to impress other men and then discard the woman? It has nothing to do with what masculinity has ever meant. What happened to raising, providing for, and protecting a family? Leading a family in faith, leading a family towards salvation, raising good, moral kids, to wake up every day and choose to love, how to choose to love your wife, how to love your kids. That is real masculinity, not whatever garbage these influencers are feeding to your sons. Because where does that mindset lead? It leads to sad clips like this, and pay attention to Clavicular in this one.
I thought I was like at least an 8.
You're not an 8. You're not an 8.
Yeah.
You're a 37. Ask for validation. And you're sitting in a 10 flat.
That's kind of rude.
That's kind of rude. That's justice. That's kind of rude. Is it? Clavicular's at least in that. Don't fuck with my boy.
I thought I was like at least an 8.
These guys are just trashing this woman's looks to her face. Rating people on a scale of 1 to 10 is wild enough. I don't like it at all. This girl's obviously attractive. Whatever standards these men have are just insane. But notice what Clavicular does. Nothing. He just laughs along while the girl with him is being insulted, clearly not happy with what they're saying. You put all these lessons together, and what you get is a mindset where young men never stand up for women because women to them just aren't real people. They're just props. They're pawns that they use to impress other men with how hot their girl is. Now, it's sad to see someone like Clavicular fall into that mindset. And I say it's sad because watching the clips, it's clear that he didn't really buy into all of this before that night. He wanted that woman on his lap. He wanted to dance and party with women. He clearly wants to take women out on dates. Now just watch this clip again.
But like a one-on-one dinner with a girl is a mistake and a waste of fucking time and money.
3 hours of fucking garbage.
Let me tell you what a dinner.
Look at his body language, the way he responds. It's obvious he's just going along with whatever the guys say. In that earlier clip where Myron told him to demand sex for access, Clavicular just went along. He went along willingly, yes, but it's also clear that he didn't think like that before this night. If he were by himself, I guarantee he'd be flirting with the girls, actually trying to win their affection. He wouldn't be running this "you're only allowed up here if you sleep with me" script. What's most striking about him, about Clavicular, is that he doesn't seem to have any real moral foundation. No deeply held beliefs, just a desire to look attractive and sleep with women. Now, that's now the kind of guy that your son is being told to look up to. And for someone already drifting with no strong convictions, the worst thing he could have done was fall in with the red pill crowd. And he gets into a circle with the Tate brothers, men who have bragged about sleeping with whoever they want, who have been tied up in prostitution and cam girl schemes. When you drop a young, rudderless man who thinks with the wrong head into that environment, that changes a kid forever. Now, before I wrap up, I don't want to completely skip over the Nazi stuff because that stuff wasn't incidental. That was the glue that brought all these people together. Now, Nick Fuentes was there. He didn't build his following on being some, model Catholic like he says he is. He built it on hating Jews and hating the American system. And that's his brand, despite him trying to tone down the rhetoric lately. Myron was there. Myron shows up in a Gas the Jews sweatshirt. They're blasting Hail Hitler in a Miami club, doing Nazi salutes on camera. Now, they know exactly what they're doing. This isn't just edgy humor. Now, that comes from the same worldview that says that women are disposable objects. Dehumanize one group, and it gets a lot easier to dehumanize everybody else. So in that one night, we saw the full package from these guys. Contempt for women, contempt for Jews, contempt for any kind of moral standard outside of their own ego. And that's what makes them so dangerous as role models. They're not building anything. They're not pointing young men toward virtue or duty or sacrifice. They're teaching young men to sneer at the idea that anyone but them matters. And that sneer follows these young men home. Your son going off to college, or maybe already in college, who's still forming his moral framework, listening to these guys, seeing their money, seeing the women, hearing them brag about the girls they get. That's not harmless entertainment. It's harmful. It will destroy your son. It will destroy your brother. It will destroy your friend. And if you are a young man watching this, it will destroy you. Thanks for sticking around and watching. Hit like and subscribe for me and let me know what you think in the comments. And how did these guys ever get famous? Why are there people who buy into their obviously harmful lifestyles? I want to know what you think. And remember to go read my article over at Crisis Magazine. It's linked below. Hit like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.